I was the man of my dreams, deeply in love, finally becoming the married couple I'd always envisioned. Our wedding ceremony, a culmination of my fondest dreams, was adorned with blessings from many. I imagined my parents in heaven rejoicing, but little did I know, tragedy lurked ahead. Their betrayal shattered everything. I'll never forgive them for what they've done. I'm Mary. Thomas, my boyfriend 2 years my senior, proposed to me, and at 27, we tied the knot. I lost my father in my youth and my mother succumbed to illness 2 years back. Through it all, Thomas has been my unwavering support, lifting me in my darkest hours. Our wedding, on the anniversary of 2.5 years together, marked the start of our joyous journey as newlyweds. With Thomas's demanding job, we postponed the ceremony until the schedule eased. On his days off, we visited the venue, laying the groundwork for our special day. With the date set, it was time to compile our guest list. I was blessed with an aunt and uncle who embraced me as their own daughter. After losing my father, they stepped in, showering me with cooked meals in place of my busy working mother. Their presence filled the void when she was away, ensuring I never felt alone. When illness struck my mother, they shouldered her responsibilities, sparing me the weight of it all. Even in the darkest moments, my aunt's gentle reassurances buoyed my spirits, urging me to hold on to hope for my mother's recovery. With their unwavering support, I found the strength to weather any storm. It's why, when planning my wedding, I insisted they occupy seats reserved for family. Eager to convey my gratitude, I made a long overdue visit to their home. "Mary, congratulations on your marriage," my aunt greeted me, tears glistening in her eyes. "Thank you, Auntie. I've been thinking, I want you and Uncle to sit in the seats reserved for family at my wedding. Would that be all right?" "Of course," she replied, her voice filled with warmth as she reached for a large box. "Mary, why don't you open this?" Curious, I obliged, lifting the lid to reveal a stunning white wedding dress nestled inside. Crafted from exquisite silk, it exuded elegance with a touch of charm. Delicate lace adorned the neckline, while intricate flower embroideries danced along the hem, lending it an undeniable allure. Smaller in size, it was evident this dress was tailored just for me. Instantly enamored, I gasped in delight. "Why this dress?" I inquired. "Well, your mother, my sister, she made it," my aunt explained softly. "What? Mom made this?" I exclaimed, disbelief coloring my voice. "Yes. Despite her illness, she poured her heart into every stitch, envisioning this day for you. She asked me to give it to you if ever you married. This dress embodies all the love she held in her final days. Mary, you must wear it at your wedding. It would mean the world to her," my aunt said, her eyes shimmering with tears and affectionate pride. Touched by her gesture, tears welled up in my eyes. "Thank you, Auntie. Holding on to this means everything to me. I'll cherish it, I promise," clutching my mother's handcrafted wedding dress tightly, my heart brimming with happiness. Upon returning home, I reverently hung the dress on my bedroom wall, its presence a comforting reminder of my mother's love. Determined to honor her at my wedding, I envisioned the day with renewed determination. But fate had other plans. Disaster struck one evening when I returned home from work to find the dress missing from its rightful place on my wall. Shocked and bewildered, I frantically searched the room, my heart sinking as reality set in. "How could this happen? It was right here," I whispered, the weight of loss settling heavily upon me. In a panic, I reached for my phone to dial the police. Just then, my husband walked through the door. "Mary, what's wrong?" he asked, concern etched on his face as he hurried to my side. "My dress, it's gone. I had it right here," I sobbed, gesturing to the empty space on the wall. "I think someone took it." My distress seemed to startle my husband, and his response caught me off guard. "Oh, is that all?" he remarked casually, prompting me to question him further. "What do you mean, Thomas? Do you know something?" I asked, my voice trembling with uncertainty. His revelation left me stunned. "Well, yes. My sister mentioned she needed a dress for her upcoming wedding and wanted to borrow yours," he confessed. "What?" I gasped incredulously, realizing he had lent my precious wedding dress without consulting me. It dawned on me then that she'd used the spare key from our mailbox to retrieve it. He handed my dress over to his sister without consulting me. I was beyond disbelief, my anger boiling over as I confronted him. "How could you do this?" I demanded, my voice trembling with fury. His nonchalant response only fueled my frustration. "Our wedding is still months away, so what's the harm?" he reasoned, as if it were inconsequential. And my sister was ecstatic. She's tight on funds and saw it as a saving grace. Saving grace? I never authorized any of this. I shot back, seething at his lack of consideration. That dress was a labor of love from my mother, made specifically for me. Did you forget, Thomas? It's tailored to perfection. How could you lend it out without my consent? His attempt to pacify me only infuriated me further. Relax, it's not like it's a one-time use item. You'll still get to wear it. So what's the problem? He insisted. The problem? It's crystal clear. Why should your sister wear my dress before I do? It's just plain wrong, no matter how you spin it. Despite my efforts to convey my frustration, my husband remained obstinate, refusing to apologize or acknowledge his error. His dismissive attitude only fueled my anger further. Mary, you're overreacting. You need to stop acting like a spoiled child, he retorted, his words a stinging rebuke. Spoiled? How can you say that? This dress holds sentimental value. It was made by my mother for me. It's nonsensical for your sister to wear it before me, I countered, exasperated by his callousness. His indifference pushed me to my breaking point. I'm going to your parents' house tomorrow to retrieve the dress, I declared firmly. Tomorrow? But that's when my sister's fiancé and his parents are visiting, he interjected. Your parents' house, and you think I should just sit back and let them decide? I snapped, incredulous. Let me be clear. Regardless of anyone's opinion, I refuse to allow your sister to wear that dress. The following day, I took a break from work to confront my sister-in-law. Upon reaching my in-laws' home, the lively chatter from within greeted me as I approached the open front door. Stealthily entering, I overheard unfamiliar voices engaged in conversation. You made this dress yourself? That's incredible, Cynthia. A man's voice praised, referring to my sister-in-law. Cynthia, basking in the admiration, modestly deflected the compliment. Oh, it was nothing, she downplayed, proudly showcasing my mother's meticulously crafted wedding dress to her fiancé and his parents. A surge of emotions welled up within me as I listened, my heart heavy with indignation. Claim of creating her dream dress struck a nerve. That dress was a symbol of my mother's love, crafted expressly for me. Without realizing it, I found myself drawn towards them, propelled by a mix of anger and hurt. Storming through the entrance, I snatched the wedding dress from my sister-in-law's grasp and declared, "This belongs to me," in front of the astonished onlookers. All eyes turned towards me, except for my sister-in-law, who paled at my assertiveness. Cynthia, is this true? Her fiancé questioned, prompting her to offer a feeble defense. No, it's not what you think. I really did make it myself. Realizing the futile nature of the conversation, I turned my attention back to Cynthia. Why don't you try it on then? My mother tailored it to fit me perfectly. It won't suit you. It was evident that the dress, designed for my petite stature, wouldn't flatter her taller, more athletic frame. What's going on? My husband's voice cut through the tension, finally making an appearance. My sister must have called him, he fumed, his face flushed with anger. Mary, what on earth are you doing? Are you trying to sabotage my sister's wedding? Sabotage. If anything, it's my wedding that's in jeopardy, I shot back at my husband, bracing myself for another outburst. Just stop. We call off our wedding, so hand over that dress to my sister. What? Called off? I stammered in disbelief. That's correct. We called it off, he asserted firmly. My sister mentioned she's tight on funds, so we decided to gift her the $50,000 we saved for our wedding. And since we're not getting married anymore, we don't need that dress, do we? You lent out my dress without asking, canceled our wedding, and gave away the $50,000 we saved. Have you lost your mind? The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. Our marriage held little importance to him. With a heavy heart, I fell silent, feeling my love for my husband wane. Canceling the wedding was one thing, but I wanted to cherish this dress forever. And now, because of these thoughtless actions, just then, my sister-in-law's fiancé rose to his feet, his voice heavy with resignation. I guess that settles it. What? Everyone was stunned. Wait, you can't be serious. You're calling off our engagement. Why? In response to my sister-in-law's plea, her fiancé fixed her with a steely glare. Why? It's plain as day. I can't marry someone who's capable of such deceit without a second thought. It's out of the question. Even his parents mirrored his sentiments, their quiet anger evident. Well, that settles that. No more talk of marriage, my fiancé declared, ready to leave with his parents. But just as they were about to depart, My sister-in-law burst in frantic and desperate. Hold on a minute. It's ridiculous to call off the engagement over something like this, isn't it? Mom, Dad, you don't agree, do you? Despite her impassioned pleas to her parents, it was too late. Why are you glaring at me, Mom, Dad? My sister-in-law's plea fell on deaf ears as her father erupted with force. Get out, you disgrace. His words struck like a blow, reducing my typically resilient sister-in-law to tears. How could you be so heartless? This is too much, she sobbed. Stop crying. I don't recognize you anymore. Her father rebuked, his voice filled with disappointment. I can't accept someone who shows such disregard for others' feelings as my daughter, her mother added sternly. Witnessing his sister's distress, my husband stepped forward to intervene. Mom, Dad, please calm down. There's no need to blame Cynthia like this. And you, Thomas, how dare you overlook Mary's feelings? Leave this house with Cynthia, his father added, his tone unwavering. You foolish son, his father's words rang out, stunning my husband into silence, his expression one of disbelief. Then, to my surprise, my mother-in-law approached me, bowing her head in apology. I'm deeply sorry, Mary. We were misled to believe that the dress was handmade by our daughter. No, it's all right, but I can't continue living with Thomas, I responded, my heart heavy with resolve. That's understandable. Our daughter is at fault here. You should move forward with your life without any concerns, she assured me. Her words struck a chord within me. Despite the turmoil, I couldn't shake the guilt of parting ways with my in-laws who had always treated me with kindness. Nonetheless, staying with Thomas was no longer an option. Mary, I'm sorry. Truly, I am. We'll make things right, have a proper wedding. Please don't mention divorce, my husband pleaded, his tone shifting dramatically after his parents disowned him. But I couldn't fathom reconciling with a man devoid of spine. I'm forging my own path now. I can find happiness without you. His plea fell on deaf ears as I stood firm in my decision. Witnessing my resolve, my husband sank to his knees in defeat. After bidding my in-laws a heartfelt farewell, I left their home, packing my belongings and seeking refuge at my aunt's house. Though initially surprised, she respected my decision and welcomed me with open arms. My aunt skillfully repaired the torn dress, restoring its former glory. With my mother's dress refurbished, I sought alimony from my ex-husband, and we finalized our divorce. Unbeknownst to me, he had been diverting our wedding funds to my sister-in-law, which resulted in a slightly higher settlement for me. Both my husband and sister-in-law faced the consequences of their actions and were disowned by their parents, now residing together in our former home. Meanwhile, my sister-in-law, who had planned to be a homemaker, found herself jobless after quitting her job. Now, my ex-husband bore the sole responsibility of supporting them both. Reflecting on my experience, I resolved to be more discerning in choosing a partner if given another chance at marriage, ensuring a beautiful wedding while wearing my mother's cherished handmade dress.